Hello, fellow food lovers. Today I will be making Chinese sweet and sour chicken balls. You will need 2 chicken breasts, boneless. For the batter, you'll need 1 cup of white flour, 1.5 teaspoons baking powder, a quarter teaspoon salt, and 1 cup of water. For the sweet and sour sauce, you need 1 cup of water, half a cup of vinegar, a quarter cup of sugar, quarter cup of ketchup, and 1 heaping tablespoon of cornstarch. Okay, so we're going to make the batter now. We have white flour. We're going to use 1 cup of that. Okay, so 1 cup of flour. We're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. And a quarter teaspoon of salt. So we're going to add 1 cup of water to that. We're going to start with a cup of water and see how it goes. So you're looking for a really thick batter. You don't want a thin batter. It has to be a thick batter so it can stick to the chicken. Usually, sometimes when I start with a cup of water, you get a paste, and that's too thick. It needs to be a thick batter, but not a paste. So if it's paste, add a little bit more water to it loosens up and becomes kind of a batter. So that right there actually is perfect. It's a thick batter. So we don't have to add any more water today. Okay, I got 2 chicken breasts here. I'm going to cut them into big chunks. Yeah, so I got 2 chicken breasts. I'm going to cut into chunks. So each chunk should be about a mouthful. About that big. So this is a pretty classic Canadian Chinese dish. It's also found in American Chinese cuisine too. You don't really see this in China or in Asia, but it's definitely a classic takeout dish here in Canada. And chicken balls are usually always paired with sweet and sour sauce. Although you can also get with honey garlic sauce or with a savory sauce like a mushroom sauce or something like that. Okay, so we're going to season the chicken. I'm going to add a dash of salt to that. I'm going to massage the salt into the chicken to season it. Okay, so we're going to add the chicken into the batter. And we're going to mix the chicken into the batter so it's well coated. And I'm going to drop it piece by piece into the hot oil. So I got the wok's half of oil and it's on high heat. So generally I'll test the oil before I drop the meat in. I'll use a wooden chopstick. And I'll dip the chopstick into the wok, into the oil. And if it bubbles, if there's bubbles forming around the chopstick, it means it's hot enough to deep fry with. So with 2 chicken breasts, I'm going to cook this in 2 batches. So I'm going to put half the chicken in there first, and then when it's done cooking, I'll add the other half. So after I drop the chicken in the oil, I'm going to use a metal spoon. I'm going to break them apart because sometimes they'll stick together when you drop them in there, and you don't want them to cook like that. So you want to kind of separate them earlier on. So the chicken will be done when the batter is a nice golden color. Right now you can tell it's still kind of light colored. It's still too... So right now the batter is pretty light colored, so the chicken's still pretty raw. You're gonna wait till the batter's a golden, and then it's ready to take out of the oil. So I'm using a metal spoon. I'm breaking this apart. Okay, so the first batch is golden brown, so I took it out with a slotted spoon and I put it on a plate behind the wok with paper towels on it to drain the oil. So I'm putting the second batch in now. So again, you want to use a metal spoon to break the pieces apart so they're not stuck together. And once they're golden brown, you can take them out. So this batter, the 1 cup flour, 1.5 teaspoon baking soda, and a cup of water is a very traditional batter for Canadian Chinese fried stuff. Okay, so as you can tell, it's golden brown, so we're going to take it out of the oil. So I recycle the oil that I use for deep frying. I'll transfer it over to a metal container that I strain the oil through a sieve and recycle the oil for next time I'll have to deep fry in the wok. Okay, so I'm going to make the sweet and sour sauce now. So the wok's cleaned. It's on high heat. I added a cup of water. Then I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of sugar. Then 1/2 cup of vinegar. And a 1/4 cup of ketchup. So I'm going to let that sauce come up to a boil and give it a stir. Make sure the sauce is mixed in with the water. Okay, so we're going to make the cornstarch slurry now. So we're going to take 1 heaping tablespoon of cornstarch. I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of water to that. Give that a stir. Make sure the cornstarch is mixed in with the water. So you can see the sauce is boiling. So I'm going to add the cornstarch slurry to that now. And as soon as you add the cornstarch slurry, you want to mix it so that the sauce thickens evenly. If you wait too long, the cornstarch will sometimes clump up, and you'll have little lumps in your sauce. You don't want that. So. Okay, so I turned the heat off. I'm going to transfer the sweet and sour sauce into a bowl. So I'm going to serve it so that people can dip their chicken balls in the sweet and sour sauce. Sometimes you can serve it with the sauce poured over the chicken balls, but I find that the batter will get soaked and kind of soggy if you do that. So I like to have the sweet and sour sauce on the side just so that people can dip it. Okay, I'm going to transfer the chicken balls over to a serving dish. So there you have it. That's chicken balls with sweet and sour sauce, a very classic Canadian Chinese takeout dish. And there's the sweet and sour sauce. Okay, bon appetit.